welcome everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. For those of you who couldn't get the hang of Tuesdays, let me just tell you, I'm here to help. I'm Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, and it's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you, and I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day so far. When I wrapped up the show last night, I knew that I had a long evening in front of me because I had my first edition AD&D campaign to get to basically over there, but 3 hours of playing D&D. Ryan David, how are you? How are you feeling, my friend? I hope you are well. But at any rate, but I knew as soon as I was done with that, I had to leap into action. Let me tell you what I have had going on, and I wish I had pictures to show you, but I don't. Essentially, Paul Stormberg, a guy, just a wonderful guy. If you don't know Paul, you should. You should. We've had him on the show a lot of times. He is the Indiana Jones of TSR, basically from pre-Dungeons and Dragons until the lights got shut off in Lake Geneva and beyond. But I've been working with Paul on a few 3D printing projects that he's needed done. Now, if you went to GaryCon, Tommy Dye, greetings. If you went to GaryCon, last year, you might have seen that gargantuan, that absolutely giant 15 millimeter representation of the Dungeons of Quasqueton. A lot of the fixtures in there were 3D printed by me. Well, Paul asked me to do another project. He and his buddy Doug Waltman, said, hey, we want to do the cathedral level of the Temple of Elemental Evil in 28 millimeter. And so we want these pieces. So I've basically been going since the end of spring, getting those printed. Well, in the midst of this, and I say in the midst of it, really at the tail end of it, Paul was like, hey, because let me tell you what, the guy is 8 hours away from Lake Geneva, across like 3 states, I think. I don't know my geography that well. And if you've seen the show that he's been on, yes, that is correct, Vinger. Meteor Key Press, greetings. Miss Bella Games, hello. But if you've seen the shows he's been on, we've talked to him about all he's done with the Gygax Memorial Funds, all that stuff going on in Lake Geneva. Well, they're putting a Christmas tree up in Lake Geneva, and he asked me, he said, hey, could you do a dragon Christmas tree topper for me? Could you 3D print a dragon? Because I ordered one, and it was based on this model, and it's too small. I wanted it at least a foot across at the wings. And I was like, I got you, fam. Probably a mistake on my part. Because he asked me, like, November, or like the last week of October, first couple of days in November, and they needed it today. It got shipped today, 2-day overnight. But I had a little bit of lead time, so it's cool. Now, Doomsword has been helping me try to get this thing printed because I was sure. I was like, look, Paul, I'm going to make you 2 because one is going to arrive broken, or you're going to break it in the process of putting it together and putting it on the tree. And when you drop it and it shatters, you're going to go, aha, we have a backup, and you can go with that one. I was lucky to get 1 done. So at 3 this morning, I had almost the entire dragon put together. I had 1 more piece left to put on, and that was one of the wings. And the wings of this thing were like paper thin. Again, Doomsword knows what I'm talking about, where I had separated them in the 3D modeling program and all. There was a spot maybe a quarter the size of a dime to connect to the body. And finally, I remembered, I was like, hey, wait a minute. You know, at this point, I might as well try the baking soda and crazy glue trick. And if you don't know what that is, you take a cyanoacrylate-based glue, you put it on whatever you want to glue, and you sprinkle baking soda on it, and then you stick the other half of the object onto it, and it turns into instant drying, instant epoxy resin that does not break. It does not break. James, I have 3 printers. I have 2 Mars 2 Pros. I have a FlashForge Photo 8.9, and I have a terribly neglected, I need to get it working, and that's a 2024 goal, working again, rather, Mega, who is it? Mega Zero 2.0. It needs some TLC. So I did that, and my daughter, Charlotte, helped me. Big ups to Charlotte, because she's a night owl like me, and I'm like, Lottie, come in the kitchen. I said, stick your hand in the bag of baking soda and just sprinkle it on here as soon as you see me dab the glue on. And she did that, and I stuck the wing on. And I mean, it was like those 2 pieces were never a separate piece. It went from, oh, it's so delicate. So at that point, all I had to do was, because the joints still had gaps in them in places. So I got my, I have Vallejo plastic putty, which takes about 24 hours to cure. So it's curing in the box on the way there. But I plastic puttied all the joints and everything, and they can sand it and paint it. Because it's going to be viewed on a Christmas float from like 20 feet away. And Paul even said, paint it, because the initial thought was I would also paint it. And when I was asking him about like painting schemes and everything, he's like, you're going to paint this thing like you're a factory worker in China who doesn't know what Christmas is or care. All right. It's going to be a slop paint. It just needs to be this color, with a few highlights on it. So I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, I was up till 3:30 making sure that thing was fucking secured. And then I had to take it to the post office this morning. We're currently 1 car, 1.5 cars, really. I don't want to talk about cars right now. And so I had to get up at 7, so 3.5 hours sleep. And then this morning when I was sitting outside Wawa eating breakfast, my phone chimed, and it was Eric Garland, because I am doing the 1E AD&D conversions for some Shadows over Lake Geneva modules. And yesterday afternoon, the reason I didn't do Paul's model, finish Paul's model during the day, there were a couple of reasons. But one of them was I was finishing up the manuscript for Heidi and Eric. And he said, hey, I got it. It looks good. Yada, yada, yada. I'll be sending the next one along this afternoon. And I'd forgotten that there's 2. So essentially after tonight's live stream, instead of having a glass of porter and going and collapsing in bed, I will be sitting back down at the work PC and I will be writing. I will be converting a module. For all of you guys, you should go get on the Shadows Kickstarter if it's still going. If it's not, buy it when it comes out, because it'll have first edition AD&D conversions. So if you ever wanted to play a 1940s Call of Cthulhu kind of adventure, but with a familiar rule system, AD&D, that's what I'm working on for them. So I basically am pulling I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish the manuscript tonight. Started yesterday morning at 9 till whenever I get done with a 3.5 hour nap nestled in the middle of it. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. I'm a little sleepy. So you'll have to pardon me if I'm a little bit punchy tonight. So that's what's hip hop happening. That's where I am this evening. And so last night, I know, like, I used to talk a lot. Like, I used to give you guys summaries and stuff, and I kind of stopped doing it because I don't know if you guys really cared. And I don't mean like, well, I guess you don't care. I just mean it's hard to gauge feedback in a live stream, right? I mean, other than somebody saying, Eureka, that's fantastic. Here's a god-awful huge super chat. And I'm not saying the only way to show me love is to give me money. That's not what I'm saying. It's just the feedback tends to be a little bit delayed and a little bit. I'm sorry. Anyway, so the thank you, Vanger. Friendly hidden sponsor airdrops Bill and his stamina potion. You didn't know there was a Xanth video game? Haven't you ever heard of X-Wing? I got a million of them. None of them are any good. I just have a million of them. Anyway, so I don't really talk about the Monday game much anymore. Now, once upon a time, I kind of made a judgment, a decision. Old man Henderson, that's right, James. James knows what time it is. I made a decision, and it wasn't an easy one, and I didn't make it in haste. I've thought about this a long time, and explaining this may eat up the rest of the time we have before we start playing 1E, but that's fine. That's fine. I made the decision that I would hang up my Dungeon Mastering Wizard's hat when I ran my 9 going on 10-year Monday night first edition AD&D group through G1, G2, G3, D1, D2, D3, and Q1. And the whys of it, I posted it on Twitter today, and I want to read this because really I was a little bit more coherent when I said this. Golden Toad, hello. I was a little more coherent when I said this. Do you guys want to see this on screen, or do you just want me to read it? It's up to you. Now, I'll still do AD&D for you guys. Scanner, James, you don't bother with a scanner. Get a good DSLR. It's cheaper. It has more functions. And with the right software, you can do it yourself with free software. Blender will do 3D scan processing for free. On screen. Okay, on screen. Let's share screen. We still don't have a dice roller. I still haven't troubleshot that piece of... could have been much better. Okay. Yeah, pictures I think are better here. I kicked off the introduction to G1 last night during the AD&D game. The party still has a while to travel to Jeff and then to the steading and whatever may come after. But I vowed that once I had successfully run the GDQ arc, I was done. I'd hang up my DM's hat. And now that it's begun, this incredible, amazing, epic arc of 7 modules, I find myself wondering, what will it be like once it's all over? For good or ill, when the last die is rolled? Will I go back and say, nah, I want to keep going? I mean, it's a hell of a thing to look at a 9-year campaign, assuming we go that long, 10 years, and say, that's a wrap. Not just for the campaign, but for me as a DM. The reality is there is no play in someone else's 1E AD&D game, not around here. And who's to say what the future holds at any rate? These modules, especially G3, are not frickin' around. We could get a couple of sessions into G1 and wind up with a TPK. And if so, what then? Does that constitute reaching the finish line? I'm not leaving the hobby. That's one thing I want to say right now. I'm just going to interrupt this. Golden Toad, I am not leaving the hobby. The channel's not ending. Nothing like that. The Descent series alone, with side passages, the politics of Airly Sinlu, entanglements with the Drow, that could be years of campaigning real time right there. So maybe I'm worried about something that may never come in all practicality. But Bill, you dashing paragon of classic 1E AD&D tabletop genius, I hear you say, how do you even know your group will continue that long? And the reality is, I don't. Fortunes could change, attitudes could shift. But I will say I've done a pretty good job these last 9 years. All I can ask of my players is that they tell me if they're not enjoying the ride. So the only other question is, well, why? Why end it if everyone's having fun? And the truth is, folks, there comes time for every artist to have a coda. When you have to take a final bow and say, you've had my best, I love you all, thank you. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Go and play now. And that's what I said. That's what I said about it. And I'm not even sure what things would be like. I'm not even sure where things will be when the GDQ series ends. Maybe I'll change my mind. But I kind of look at how Robert Plant has resisted going back to tour with Led Zeppelin. Sometimes it's just best to go out on the highest note possible. And I guess that's where I'm at. Brian says I will. Now, hey, the Monday night group could beg and insist. Or my buddy Dan in the Monday night group could say, all right, y'all, time to put the toys away. It's time for Dan to run the game. Because back when my wife was recovering from surgery, not this past summer, but a year ago this past summer, for 6 weeks, Dan ran an incredible B2 through first edition AD&D. And understand, Dan played D&D first with me in this Monday night game a few years ago. And he is a ruthlessly effective first edition AD&D dungeon master now. He has the knack. He has the skill. The force is with him. So maybe it'll be Dan. Maybe it'll be Dan. Or maybe it won't be anybody. Maybe we'll just tell each other that we all love each other and on to the next. Now, I won't leave this. I won't stop doing this. Just like Robert Plant didn't stop doing music with Alison Krauss and solo works and that sort of thing. But sometimes you just got to look at the number of albums you've put out, the number of songs you've recorded, the concerts, the band members, and you just got to say, it's been a hell of a ride. And I don't know if that's where I'll be when the GDQ series ends. I mean, if it's not, I hope I'm still bringing it, you know. I hope I'm not just going through the motions. I mean, we could certainly run S1 and S3. Those are brutal modules that require a level of play acumen that's higher, I think, than what you need for GDQ. I mean, S3's just got push this button, that character dies. Well, what happened? You don't know. They glowed red, screamed in pain, and they're gone. You know, and Tomb of Horrors, right? Powerful evil magic radiates from this great devil face on the wall. Ah, a Cesaret could be in there. I'll go in and explore. You know. But I'll come to that. I will cross that bridge when I come to it. But it's just something that's kind of in the back of my head, you know? When your lead guitarist gets together all the unused tracks and compiles that one last album of stuff that fans might have enjoyed, maybe a live side or a few good concert tracks in there. Maybe it's, you know, maybe that's the day. That's the time. We'll know when I get there. We'll know when I get there. The GDQ series is monumental. It's not to be taken for granted. This is not something I'm going to knock. Guys, we have been playing Keep on the Borderlands 3 hours a week. Now, granted, there have been 1 or 2 weeks in there. But we've been playing for 20 sessions just to finish B2. Now, granted, the Caves of Chaos, although not largely interlinked, are a mega dungeon. They're big. There's 64 encounter areas. Now, multiply that times 6. No, multiply that times 3. Now take an area the size of the area around the keep and multiply that times 3. And then I don't even know how to define the weirdness of Q1, right? So I'm not saying, you know, sometime in mid-January things will have wrapped. But you know, like I said, we'll just have to see where it goes. But rest assured, I'm not walking away from you guys. I'm not. Twitter, RPG Twitter is wonderful for connecting to people in RPG stuff. It's difficult to convey a lot of deeper ideas. And if any of you follow me on Twitter, I didn't want to leave anyone with the idea that I, you know, that I was getting ready to flip a table and walk away, because I'm not. Again, I mean, Zep broke up, Plant kept making music, Paige kept making music, John Paul Jones, Paige kept making music, Plant kept making. I'm sorry, that's me. So fear not. Don't worry that I'm riding off into the sunset without you guys. Come back, Shane. Don't worry about that. Although I need my old man specs. Can you guys pardon me for a second? I see them. I can see them at a distance, but I can't see them 2 feet away. So just get these. And again, guys, Ryan's over there taunting me. He could be right. Ryan could be 100% right, and I could turn back I could turn back and say, hey, I don't want to end this. You guys have got castles to build. You got kingdoms to manage. There's fun stuff yet to be done. We'll see where it is. We'll see where it is. So, but it's just something that crossed my. Have any of you guys ever had that moment where you're just like, I don't want to DM anymore? Oh, well, let me be perfectly clear. I'm not talking about this game. I'm talking about the Monday night not streamed game. I'm talking about a game with other people. We'll support you either way, with or without additional mocking. Ryan, I would hope so. I would hope so. Oh, we're not Somberg local. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be back in the case of chaos. Hey, by the way, for you guys who like the dice that pop up here, not that one, but the 3D dice that roll on the screen, I still haven't gotten it to work again. Maybe it's a me problem. I can try it real quick. I mean, we got 3 minutes before we start, so I can try that. By the way, Thursday night, we have a guest on. We have the one and only local Gumby. Enjoy your barbecue. We have the one and only, of course, Jack Photon will be here Thursday night. We're going to talk to him about art and all kinds of cool stuff. Here. Okay, well, it's working in this one. All right, I'm going to try one more time to get a share link. Let's see. Don't see a way to have a share link. Oh, okay. Now you need to go to Patreon for physics, so that's cool. Yeah, that went about like I thought it would. All right. So I'll just have to use this off screen and tell you guys all about it. Tell you what we're getting. I mean, I could do this. Let me try something here. Present. So I can do this. I can share screen, window, share, and I can click add to stage, and we'll all be shrunk down then, but then you guys can see dice rolls, I think, maybe. Well, will that show up? And it's kind of jank. It's kind of jank. It's not as fun. Do I still... Oh, are you talking about the code to the software from Brave Alice? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Michael. bsylvia@gmail.com. It's scrolling right across there. Shoot me an email. I will get you your code tonight. I will get you a code tonight. But you know what? We're not going to worry about that anymore. I'm going to don these awesome headphones. Move my hair out of my way. I'm getting Nick Saban hair, reddish brown on the sides and gray on top, which is cool, I guess. Alrighty. Let's see. Are we missing someone? I feel like we're missing someone. Hang on a second. I'm getting messages. Mobius cannot make it. Understood, Mobius. Join us again some other time. Okay, everybody, let us welcome our players, Doom Sword Deathmaster as Vroog Dorn. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stage of history.
What's up?
Kevin as Marius Esel.
Another day, another dollar.
That's right. Dollar bills, y'all. Mark as Grimsby the Halfling.
Hello.
He's only mostly Ling. And everybody's favorite, Thane Kyle, back as Sir Standard. What up, what up?
Hi-oh.
All right. So, welcome back, everyone. As you know, last week the party had slain the owlbear. They had done the undoable. They had antoned the unantonable by finding the owlbear and ending the owlbear. So you are there with feathers in your hair from the dead owlbear, a creature most rare. What will thou do us, mon frères?
How do we undo the slaying of an owlbear? You said it was undoable. Where's the undo button?
You'll have to hold down Control Z, but because you closed your last session, it's not in the buffer anymore, so you can't.
All that for. That always works.
Yeah, right.
Go to the back
handset house. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are doing your backups of your monsters, right? Yes.
I am now.
That reminds me, I need to back up my PC.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you did exactly the opposite of what Baldur's Gate, Wizardry, and the Gold Box games told you to do, which was make play versions of your discs before you started playing them, because I was guilty as hell. I took that sucker right out of the box, stuck it in my 1541, and said, screw you guys, I'm playing with these discs. Oops.
Yeah. Really bad if you did that with Wasteland.
Yeah.
Wasteland was great.
Yeah. You lost
Right,
that
I
ammo
had that
forever.
Vincent wants to know who killed the owlbear. Who did deliver the final blow to the owlbear?
I thought it was Vroog.
I think it was me.
Yeah, I think it was Vroog. So Vincent,
I got hurt.
It was Vroog. No, the owlbear will live on in our heart, and besides, that's what wandering monster tables in other dungeons are for.
And that was just one.
Yeah, it was
of the
right.
owlbears.
How many do you encounter? Is it D4? 2D4?
Owlbears, I think it's D4, but
100.
That's Knowles.
D percentage owlbears. Let's see, Monster Manual, Owlbear. And we always go by first edition AD&D here. I know they're in basic also. I think, well, yeah, they'd have to be because they're in Keep on the Borderlands, but we always go default to the Monster Manual if we have no other recourse like the module. Which brings up an interesting point. Let's see. Owl Giant, Owlbear. 2 to 5, 1d4 plus 1. So you could run into as many as 5. And it'll be like Jaws, the Revenge, because, you know, the shark remembered from 20 years previous. Yeah. So anybody who may have been questioning about, like, the damage that Grimsby took last week and so on from gray oozes and whatnot, where the module denotes a certain amount of damage or armor class or what have you, I go with the module. I only go back to the AD&D rule books where things are unclear or where there is a clear need of a rule from AD&D Because the module has its own circumstances. These gray oozes may have been less potent because they hadn't had anything to eat other than rat for the last few months. Or insert whatever world logic you wish to here. So, if you're wondering, like, hey, no, he should have taken 2 to 16, not 1 to 8, and should have been a little puddle of hobbit porridge. There's your answer.
It's almost like they were nerfed by design to not kill the party as bad.
Alrighty, ladies and germs, let us get back to the game. So, adventurers, Owlbear, dead.
It didn't do that with the Spectre.
No, there's no good way to nerf a Spectre.
White. If it had been a Spectre, it would have been a total party kill that night. End of game.
There's still no good way to nerf a white either, unless you give it like 5 hit points.
Oh, well.
Important question.
Marty?
Treasure. Where is it?
Yeah, where
Yeah,
is
we
it?
Grimsby
did
is
do
searching.
Treasure.
Okay, so let us pull up the module. Well, you guys encountered the Owlbear actually in a tunnel.
Percent not
You
in
had-
layer. Damn it.
It was not in lair when you encountered it, and there are other caves in the Forsaken Cave area.
If I had known it was called the Forsaken Cave, I would not have gone.
Yeah.
We did
Right,
read
so
the
it
sign
came
up
out. They
Isn't
came
that
out and encountered us.
isn't that really a lesson we can provide to our lives just at large, Mark? if you know it's the Forsaken Cave, don't go there.
Real question for the party though. I still have most of my spells. I've only spent 1 spell. Do we want to keep going?
Yeah, I know. I'm taking its head.
No, I meant like keep exploring.
Yes, Grimsby has only 2 hit points left, but he hasn't got any treasure yet, so therefore he must keep going. It's in his contract.
Okay. The
I
cleric.
got half hit points, and the cleric is gone.
The cleric is the player left. The cleric is still amongst you, and so for Grimsby, 7 hit points, and for Vrug,
Wow, cool.
1 hit point.
Oh, damn.
Okay. God doesn't give with both hands.
And he says, "I could use a staff on you if you wanted." Sorry, it's my best Mobius impression. Mobius, if you're out there, I'm not making.
Do whatever you want.
All right.
If we're moving on, if we're marching on, do it right this time.
All
Do we
right.
have-
So
do we have
he
time?
will. Let's see.
Potions before stab?
That's up to you guys if you want to use the potion before the staff.
Well, do we have potions? Was my question.
I don't.
I'm.
Nor do I.
Yes,
I have
only-
a potion of a weak poison.
I have one
Could
potion
take care
of
of the
healing
situation.
I got from the end of not last one, but the time before. So if somebody wants that, I could use that.
But the cleric's got that staff, right?
The cleric does have the staff of curing, which has limited functions that it can perform. But yes.
Physician, heal me.
Okay. So
Oh my God.
3d6 plus 3.
Vrug used a polysyllabic word.
So it's going to
I
be
think he said it
12.
more like
That was the
physician.
player.
One word.
That was the player, not Vrug.
That is 15 hit points that Vrug gets back. Wenger says a passing trophy cart head vendor happens to wander by the cavern entrances. Sir, while you're adventuring, we can have that mounted for you, and then when your day is complete, you can pick it up at the entrance to the dungeon.
It would cost like several hundred gold pieces.
Yes. And
I was 13 down, so that 15 was perfect.
There you
You
go.
have that many hit points? Good for you.
Okay, so you're healed back up. You cannot be cured by the Staff of Curing again today, and the Staff of Curing can only be used for that type of curing. It can still get rid of disease and get rid of poison, but it can only do that type one more time today. Volcano God said, this one is rumored to be the head of Vecna. Okay, so are you continuing on through the Forsaken Cave?
I feel better.
I mean, now that we know that it's the Forsaken Cave, no. We're going to find another cave.
All these riddles off.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, I'd prefer to keep going. But then again, I'm not injured.
I'm fine.
Shall Grimsby scout ahead again?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Grimsby, you can continue to the west, or you may continue on to the south into a larger cavern.
Let's do that. South into larger cavern.
Okay, south into larger cavern. Okay, so this cavern is about 30 feet north-south and maybe 20 feet wide. And in the lower corner of it, there is a crooked tunnel that appears to go west.
I peer down that tunnel to see what might be down there.
The smell here is muskier and stronger, but peering in that direction in the far corner of an angled, roughly 20 by 20 cave, you see an opening that seems to curve back around to the southeast. So basically, you'll go in, have a cave space, and then you see a tunnel that looks like it curves around to the southeast, but you can't see beyond just the opening itself. Yeah. You'll have to go there.
But I'm not seeing any, like, I would think an animal of that size would have some sort of den or nest or bedding.
You don't immediately see one, not in that cave.
Well, I'm going to go back to the party and head straight west. You said that was an option.
Yes. Okay. So you go back north to where the party is, and you head west. And heading west, you're now in an elongate cave that is about 10 feet wide. Kind of runs roughly south to northeast, about 40 feet. And other than the occasional maybe gleam of something in the loam on the floor of the cave, you don't really see anything here of note.
Gleam? That is something to note for a thief such as I. What's that?
Let's see. Hang on a second. 2 monitors, many tabs. I'm sorry, what was that thing?
I said 3D4 rock grubs with chrome paint.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're scarabs of death. Pick one up. Oh! I don't know. It's rot grubs or scarabs of death. Take your pick, right? Yeah, I mean,
mostly dead, all dead, mostly dead, very much alive.
All right, so if you search around in the muck, you can find there's a few loose coins here and again.
Like platinum pieces? Or iron bits? Or are they bronze bits?
There's a million coins here. Woohoo! They're bronze Z's. Oh. It's like 1,000 gold or 1,000 copper worth of bronze coins. You actually do find a silver piece.
Woohoo!
You're rich.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go back to the party and say, looks like that's a dead end. There's some coin in the ground, but it's not much. But maybe such a beast of this size would have a lair, would have a place it beds. It's probably down to the south of us through a couple other caverns. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll follow that way.
Alrighty.
So we're going to go south to that
Indeed.
first room, and the little tunnel then goes to the southeast, and that's where we hadn't investigated any further yet. So
Okay.
down there.
Okay, so looking into the room that I described, it's fairly nondescript. There's a few gray owl pellets, like the size of a gnome, here and there. In fact, you
They have
think
a little pointed hat.
one of them does look like it actually has a gnome in it. But there is also the tunnel, as I had mentioned. Heaped up in the end of that tunnel, it runs about 30 feet to the southeast, is a great pile of sticks and bones and leaves and such.
Aha. Well, gents, let's see if it squirreled away anything useful in its bedding. Either that or we start knocking apart those owl pellets.
You're the burglar. Dig in.
I'll start poking them apart with my spear. Not
Yeah.
like aggressively or anything, but just, breaking them up like I would say a tea cake for those of you into Chinese tea.
All right.
So you're taking care of the owl pellets. So let's see what's in the if there's anything in the nest.
I stand back and guard.
Okay, so you search around for a minute. You don't find anything in the first minute, but you can absolutely continue to search if you wish.
Another minute.
All right.
Sure. It takes 3D 100 minutes of searching.
Okay, well, actually, Sir Standard, you notice that one of the bones is actually in very good condition. It doesn't look like it's been bitten much at all. And there's a seam, there's a perfect seam that goes around its middle. Appears to be a tube made of a bone rather than just a bone itself.
I found a tube.
All right, everybody, let's see what's on the tube.
Well, I was hoping to find more in here, but if that's that.
I mean, we can keep looking. If we want.
Maybe another minute.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Here, I'll have at it.
I'll just roll 3d6. You basically hit the floor. You don't, you've kicked around all the sticks and whatnot. So
I was really hoping that there'd be some that maybe it would have swallowed something and shat it out.
No hard gold, and you can always open them up. I'll help you.
Except for a tube.
Yeah. I don't have detect magic for the tube, but I do have my intuition. So, and my intuition says I'm going to tell the rogue to lick it for traps.
Lick it for traps. I like that.
Lick it for traps.
From my point of view, I already took its head, so I'll make my way back to the creature and disembowel it and see if there's anything in there.
Owl bear guts. Lots and lots of owl bear guts.
I'm going to take its feathers for quills.
All right.
Okay.
Arrows.
Grimsby will take a look at the tube and check it for traps. It's a
All
tube,
right.
but
It could be poisoned, that kind of thing.
It is not trapped.
then does it have a seal on it, or is it just looks like it should prise
No,
apart?
it just looks like you could maybe, line the arrows up and slide it apart.
What's inside?
Okay. There is a scroll. There is a vellum scroll inside.
Sir Standard, there's just a piece of paper in here.
Word. I have not detect. I do not have read magic prepared, at least right now. But I will be so kind as to do that later. So I will
Okay.
put that away for safekeeping.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you want to examine the scroll first?
Can I tell what denomination it is?
It is a clerical scroll. It is written in many forms of common. Basically, there's like a common liturgy across the top that, if you will, unlocks the rest of the liturgy on the scroll. And what you have there is a protection from undead based on the liturgical chant written in gold ink across the top.
Oh wow. Okay.
I
Well,
guess Duran should keep that then.
yeah. Prot undead. I'll put it on my sheet for now, but we'll make sure Duran gets it.
Alrighty.
That way, I'll just pass it along to him next time he's here. And all right, gents, where to now?
All we can get out of this damn cave is that goblet.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this damn big ass owl above her head. I mean, I can carry it.
Let's do that. Is there any other caves for us to go into?
I mean, now that we've killed all the undead, we have a protection from undead scroll.
No, it's very convenient.
It's like when you find the BFG in a secret room like 5 feet from the exit of a Doom map. Thanks, John.
The Dragon Slayer's sword is always in the Dragon's Hoard.
It's all exactly so. Okay, so you are leaving the cave, and let's see. No, Vincent, nobody has a bag of holding. That is quite the item that no one has yet to acquire. You guys have lots of other kind of goodies. All right, so nothing untowards happens on your trip back to the keep. And as usual, you arrive. There's Frederick, who opens the gate, welcomes you in. Hail and well met, adventurers. Good to see you again. And so let's do some XP awarding, because you guys knocked off 3 gray ooze and an owl bear, and that ain't just Whistle and Dixie. Plus, you have a scroll of protection. At a glance, you think that goblet may be worth 1,300 gold pieces there, Grimsby.
Only 500. That's too bad. Awesome.
I leave that to your discretion. So let's see.
I will go liquidate it at the moneylender guy.
All right. He's still a little off-put about the last shenanigans, the fracas that happened in there. So he offers you 900 for it.
Sir, I am so sorry I caused any problems, but this is surely worth 1,200. I give him my best charisma 13 smile.
No, it's not. And don't call me Shirley. I'll give you 1,100.
Oh, you drive a hard bargain, but 1,100 sounds good.
I drive a horse cart there. So he gives you the requisite funds.
Okay. I will figure out what the split is.
Guys, I got 300 for that goblet.
He said it was just 10.
All right. So let's see. So we had 3 gray oozes with 15 hit points each. Let's get to where I need to be in the... There we go. All right. Come on. Gray ooze. Where are you? All right. So, that's 825 XP, not each, but total for the Gray Oozes. Oops, 25 for the Gray Oozes. The Owl Bear. The Owl Bear is worth. Now, if anyone has any questions, of course, now you might be new. You might have just started watching the show. This isn't just like other Let's Plays. If you have a question, if there's something we're doing, something we're talking about, if you're not familiar with first edition AD&D and you have a question, please put the question in chat and I will do my level best to answer that question for anyone viewing. So please, please, please don't hesitate to raise your hand and ask a question. So, Owl Bear, let's see, 225 plus 8, so it's 30, so it's 324 plus 225. So it's 465 plus 465. And there are, let's see, 5 party members and 2 men-at-arms. So that is 7. That's 184 XP each for the slaying of the monsters in the Forsaken Cave.
Grimsby comes back with coin for everybody.
Cool.
If we split it 5 ways, it's 220 gold pieces apiece.
Cool.
All right. So add 220 XP for that. And Duran taking possession of the protection from... now, I will point out something. Protection scrolls are usable by any class. Anybody can use that. And it is worth 1,500 experience points. So...
Whoever wants it. I don't.
I'll take it, sir. Shut up, not you.
Question for the party, though. Actually, sorry, question. Can I have the initial XP count again?
184 per person.
184. Thank you.
Plus
that was
220 for gold.
I got the gold part. It was the 184.
That does put me over level by a bit. So
Well, there you go.
I need to find it. I'm assuming there's a trainer here, since others.
The money lender is a magic user, and you have all received let from the Castellan here to receive your training, such as it benefits the people of the keep for free.
Okay, so as long as I'm part of that group, then that's what I'll do. I'll do my training if that doesn't annoy others.
Nope. Roll that D4.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the bad news. Here comes the bad news.
Hey, you could roll a 4.
I got a 3, so that's
3. That's not shabby. That's not shabby.
A 3. No con bonus though, so total of 6 hit points for Marius.
More importantly, what
Better
spell?
than 3.
So Vaughn asks, wouldn't henchmen take a morale hit if the party all had magic weapons and didn't give them any? No, not necessarily. They might take a morale hit if the party destroyed the magic weapons or just disposed of them or gave them to people not affiliated with a party for no reason. But the only benefit of magic weapons to men-at-arms, other than the obvious benefit, is to increase their morale. Lack thereof does not decrease their morale.
One example Gary gives in the book is if you give a henchman a magic weapon, then take it away, that's really bad.
Yes. Yeah.
Once you give them something, they assume it's theirs.
Hey, you know that +1 dagger I gave you? Here's a +5 Holy Avenger. Can I have the +1 dagger back? I would say in the balance, that's probably going to be okay with the NPC in question.
It was probably more for the case of, hey, could you hold this to see if it's cursed? Oh, it's not cursed. Thank you. I'll take it back.
But then on the flip side, when creating personae of NPCs, you may have a henchman in your party who is extremely avaricious and greedy. Hey, here's a +5 Holy Avenger. Can I have the dagger back? I'll take the +5 Holy Avenger, but you're not getting this dagger back. That's mine now. So they very well could view that as an insult, and then not being given the Holy Avenger to boot, they could then become resentful of that. But in general, no, it doesn't. It doesn't negatively impact them.
Marius learning new spells.
Find familiar.
I just realized I was on mute. Hey, Find Familiar is cool.
Yeah. Well, I haven't found one yet.
Nice.
Yes.
Also, Marius, forgive me. I just thought of this because I'm an idiot. Do you want to share spells?
Yeah, I think Bill had mentioned that to me about 5 sessions ago.
Because I could benefit from Find Familiar, you could benefit from sleep, etc.
I can't learn sleep.
You can't learn sleep.
Why can't you learn sleep?
My chance to know each listed spell failed. Unless those 5 spells I get right at the beginning are without chance of failure.
You get another chance each level to know a spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was only when your intelligence went up. Okay, so sure, I will.
Check chat. I just put my list in there.
Okay.
Also, I just realized that I was on mute this whole time. Comment on henchmen. Actually, when my players make the interesting habit of whenever they hire men-at-arms, whenever they hire henchmen, they make it clear for as long as you work for us, you can have X magical equipment. Like if we have this +1 sword, work for us, you get to use this +1 sword. Leave us, you give it back. It's basically like a rent, like your car for work.
These guys
You
are
get the
your
Lincoln
hirelings.
Award.
Do whatever you want with them.
Yep, you get the Lincoln when you work for the company. You leave the company, no more Lincoln.
Well, and I mean, we, like I said, it would come to their personality and how they felt at the time, and a lot of other different factors. But you may certainly say to them, "Hey, I'll give you a magic weapon, and when you're no longer my employee, it comes back to me." What happens when they're actually no longer in your employ is something completely different. Michael Mertig, hello, good to see you. Welcome. But anyway, so yes, you may train, and you may check your list again.
Okay. Well, he's got a few spells that I don't have, and I have a few spells he doesn't have. So.
Yeah, but you can retry sleep.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So, although I
try.
can't memorize more than 2, I can still learn up to the maximum my intelligence allows, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I can have the spell, and just unless I memorize it, it's not functional. All right, I just want to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes in the setup here.
I'm going to try and learn those spells as well, so I'm going to start rolling.
Yep.
I got a 65, so. Nope.
No.
Yup.
What?
11.
That's 11. Okay, so I did learn sleep.
Awesome. Yep. All right, so I got.
And unseen servant.
Let's see here. Which one? I didn't get Burning Hands. I got Charm Person and Shocking Grasp. Now let's see if I get Find Familiar.
So is that 100?
Yes.
001s?
No, that's a 10.
It's 10.
That's a 10.
Right. So
I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, I hate the way these dice are on some of these sets.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did learn the 3 spells I couldn't. Well, I didn't try Unseen Servant past.
Oh, you can always try it again next level.
No, I didn't fail any, so it's all good.
Oh, there you go.
You're useful now.
Now
Well,
we can.
we'll see.
Now we both. Now there's only one rule I have to say with Unseen Servant. We both have to torment Vroog with it when he's drunk.
It's part of the spell.
That's a necessity. Yeah.
It's a definite necessity.
Just wait till I'm taking this party through Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, and he's using summon invisible stalker to torment Vroog. Hey, pick Vroog up and bash his head against that metal wall.
The only difference in my life is that I have seen servants ruining me.
But besides the week of Marius training, how long is it going to take to do the magic sharing? Copying, et cetera?
So basically, here's the thing. You guys can absolutely keep the knowing of the spells. Writing the spells in your book requires magic ink.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
You have to acquire magic ink, and then I believe you both have the spell right, correct?
We do.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Then you will have to cast right and make the appropriate saving throws.
So I need to do that 3 times. Well, 1, is magic ink available? And 2, if it is, what's the cost?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that for the sake of moving the game along, that you each have an application of 4 writings of magic ink. After that, you'll have to find an alchemist, and there is not one in the keep. So
Right. So we each would have 1 portion of magic ink left.
Yes.
All right.
I'll make that note. Now, what about writing the spells in terms of leveling up? We get that one provided, right?
Yes. But if you're copying from someone else's spell book in this instance, you're going to need right. Or if you were copying from a scroll, you would need the spell right, and you would need an application of magic ink.
Can we just borrow somebody's spell book and read it? I've always ruled no as a DM.
No.
That's a DM. So
I'm ruling no as a DM right now.
A spell book is described as your personal notes. They're written in your weird handwriting.
Yep.
That's why you need to use read magic to understand somebody else's book.
Yes.
But then once you know it, you're like, oh, I see how they do their incantation circle. Okay, got it. But,
Yeah, that's why I say no as a DM. I didn't know if Bill would rule differently, so I had to ask.
always ask your DM. That's the first
Yep.
rule.
A wise
It's the
decision, sir.
So we got to make a saving throw for each spell that we're trying to write then?
That is correct. You make a saving throw versus magic. If you fail it, you take 1d4 damage, and the only way that damage heals up is naturally. Basically, you lay on your back and go, "Oh, I guess that was how to summon a demon, not how to summon a lemon."
Okay, but it's not fatal, or it is fatal. Can it be fatal?
It can be fatal. Yeah,
Right.
like if you found wish, let's see. Oh crap! I took 36 damage. Well, my magic user is a greasy spot on the rug.
Okay.
You got this.
Yeah, it's a 12, so that's not super terrible.
Same.
Because there's no mods, right? These are all level 1, and we're level 2, so there's no negatives.
I failed all 3 of mine.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, did you want to do them one at a time?
I would do one at a time.
I mean, I would do them one at a time, but it would just be fail, take damage, fail, take damage, right? So
There you go.
I failed.
Their standard looks like the
Eh.
cartoon character that just shot himself with the
Okay.
yeah.
So
Literally.
Darius made 2 of them.
I made one of them. I haven't made the third one yet, and I
I
guess
thought
I
it
took
was-
2 points of damage, right?
That is correct.
All right, and then I got to make one more.
All right.
All right, come on, man.
I
There you
made
go.
it at that number, so.
Exactamo.
Right at it.
So in a week, though, I'll get those points back, right? So.
Well, in a couple of days.
So
All right.
does that burn out my ink as well?
You only lost 3 hit points. 3-1.
That's an incredible roll.
Yeah,
Been
that's
12.
amazing.
That's pretty good. And yes, unfortunately, botching it means you've already got the ink out. Maybe you spilled the bottle. Maybe you blotted the page. But that's it. That's the.
Okay. So both of us are going to have to fight magic ink.
Yep, there goes that hope.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What spell did you successfully write? Or spells did you successfully write?
I could still do one more, though, right? If I fail, do I have to wait? Is there any special...
Right, because you have 4.
I did have
Magic
4
inks.
bottles, right? So,
Yes, that is correct.
right, let me roll one more just to... Okay, I made it. So I learned all 3 of the spells. Or I wrote them all in my book, anyway.
All right. So you wrote them all in your book, and you have the chance to know them. Now, do you? Are you going to try and summon a familiar?
Yeah, while we're waiting, since we're in town or whatever. So.
Yeah, do it, because I'm drinking. And let's go back to fight.
All right. So you're going to cast Find Familiar. Find Familiar. That is, let's see, hang on a second. Come on.
I know it costs 100 gold to cast, unless it's different in this campaign.
Hang on a second. Let me get there. With the first level, for some reason, I was looking for it in the second level. Okay. Yes. At such time as the magic user determines to find familiar, he or she must stoke up a brass brazier with charcoal, and while this is burning, add 100 gold pieces worth of incense, herbs, basil, savory, and catnip for sure, and fat. While these are burning, the spellcaster begins his or her incantation, and it must be continued until the familiar comes or the casting time is finished. The referee will secretly determine all results. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And what is your alignment, by the way?
What is my alignment? It is lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral. Okay. Okay, so 1, so that becomes 18. So no 22 hours later. 22 hours later, you're like, there has to be somebody. Oh, yeah, you're not. No, nothing is summoning your call. Let's see. You can certainly try and cast again.
I got to spend another 100, but I'll do it. I guess it's like buying NFTs. Sometimes you get hosed.
All right, so let's see. NFT, not familiar traits. I don't know.
It's, no familiar type.
No familiar type. Well, the good news is because you were casting a spell. You were focusing pretty hard, so you didn't get any hit points back. All right, here we go. No peeking. Oh my gosh. So you are you said you're lawful neutral?
That's right.
Okay. 18 hours passes, and you collapse on your back.
Okay.
And when you wake up, someone is sitting on your chest. This creature is smaller than a gnome.
Oh, it's not a gnome then. Good.
Well, it's an intellect devour.
Wob. I always thought intellect devours were pretty badass, like how they look and they're magic resistant, almost completely magic resistant. But then they like damage like 4 giant rats. If you're not psionic, they are literally
they're hopeless.
Big brain, get me a stick and 4 and 4 town guardsmen. No, your familiar is a brownie.
It's much better to be a familiar than an enemy. Because brownies are fairies that don't have treasure.
So yes.
Okay. I guess I'll become acquainted with it. I don't know if we'd have to roleplay that out. Hello. I'm Marius, and
in kind of a high pitch. She kind of looks at you cockeyed and says, "Here for a job. I'm here to make sure you don't step in something and die." My name is Yancy. It's a pleasure to meet you. I heard your desperate plea for assistance. Well, I'm here.
It would have to be a female, wouldn't it?
I rolled a d6. I said 1 through 3 it's male, 4 through 6 it's female, and I rolled a 6. That's just how you're going to have to deal with
it.
All right.
Have fun, Kevin.
Yeah, well, yeah. It could be worse, I guess.
It does have 4 hit points, however. Yeah, she's like 1.5 feet tall. I swear to God, anybody out there who starts making waifu jokes will get a free month's subscription. No,
the temptation is there.
Hey, I'm not arguing with it. So yes, Yancy has 4 hit points, and I will do everything I can to keep you alive, Marius.
I appreciate that. And you should do your best also to try to keep yourself alive.
Well, I intend to.
If you die, I also have problems. Okay. Well, I'm a fresh adventurer, and I would much appreciate your assistance.
Well, I am sworn to carry your burdens as long as they're not much bigger than this. She defines a space about as big as a salt cellar you'd carry on an adventure with you.
Okay.
Nice.
Banger says, "Quick, shake her down for gold." Is a brownie wearing a mouse pelts as a cloak and hood? No, she's not.
I'll pay for pickling of the owlbear head.
Already. Yeah, for what it's paying, he's not charging you hardly. Just like he runs like half copper pieces, half copper piece deals on pickles just to get the brine back quicker to keep the monster heads that you're bringing in.
I'll continue to bring them in until the bar is full.
Okay, so if you're not giving her anything to do, she immediately grabs a needle and thread and goes to work mending your robes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't at this moment. I just need to rest to recover from the injury of failure.
Alrighty. Okay. So a week passes by. What do you guys wish to do?
We must go back.
Alrighty. I presume I've recovered from the trauma of failing every attempt to learn a spell.
Yes.
So, I will take my very salty self and journey with the party once again.
Alrighty. So yeah, as you guys are getting ready, now a Sen night later. Yeah, here comes Marius with a micro halfling sitting on his shoulder.
Oh, who's the wee lassie?
That's Yancy.
Oh, hello, Yancy.
Yancey's going to be assisting me in staying alive in our adventures.
Grizzly turns to Yancy and says, "You've got a tough job, but good luck with that."
Does it taste good?
The strictures of the bond are most clear that he not die.
Yes.
Good luck. But I'm glad to know that he's getting some assistance.
Godspeed. He needs it.
Let's go back to the cave. Or should we go someplace else, not the caves?
If there's someplace else to go.
Wasn't there something about spiders?
Oh, God. No spiders.
I knew you would say that.
I'm happy where I was.
Let's go back to the caves. Let's keep Vrug happy.
That's probably a good idea.
What have we found all the caves? Let's go back and see.
Okay. All right. So, let's have a quick gander. 1 second. Where is that tab? Sorry, for having two monitors, I feel like I don't have a lot of landscape, a lot of acreage. Very close, but no, a dragon does not fly down to eat Yahtzee. Just a normal size owl whisks by. Woo! Snatch.
Hey, my new familiar is here. Yeah.
But you have to take that permanent D4 hit point loss.
Right? Yeah. Not a good thing.
Not a good trade-off.
Does she have equipment or not?
Yeah.
Do I need to? Okay, so she has the weapon.
Yeah, she has a short sword that's about that long.
Okay, I just want to make sure in case I have to do something to outfit her.
Alrighty.
That's not a short sword. That's a sewing needle.
Yeah.
But it does damage just like a sword.
It's an aggressive toothpick.
It does 1d3 damage.
Oh, damn.
I might as well use her weapon.
All right, so yeah, that's going to work out real well for you there. All right, where are you guys going in the caves, please?
So, I know there's kobolds over here, orcs above them. Over here we had goblins and hobgoblins above them. We had some gnolls a little bit further down there. Straight ahead of us, we had an owl bear and a minotaur. And up there in the corner, top left corner, was the evil shrine. Did we miss something? Should we have to take a circuit to see if we're
Did we
missing a
fill
cave?
all the gnolls? Did we kill them all?
Don't know.
Yes, and I should point out the ravine is just as dismal and foreboding appealing as it has been before.
We also
I vote for
everything in
killing gnolls.
in the shrine. Let's go to the Knoll Cave, see what else is there. Grucy's still on the lookout to see if he's missed any caves.
So I will point out to you guys, I am not telling you where to go. I have no interest in where you go other than reading the module. Let's see.
Well, why don't we go back into the cave where those priests and the undead were? We did not explore that fully.
What do you got, Bill?
No, that I was going to say that was the last place that you were, and you had not gone to the north beyond Grimsby scouting.
Grimsby is super nervous about it, but if you force him to, he'll come along. He is uncomfortable going back in that cave, but he will.
No, I want to kill humans and humanoids.
That's called being a sociopath, Rube. We don't smile on that.
Well, then come at me then.
Rug has had a little too much breakfast porter. You think? Okay. Are you guys going up the gut or just straight into the entrance when you go back into the Temple of Evil Chaos?
Let's go straight in the front door.
I'll leave it to the halfling.
I was afraid you were going to say that. Grimsby is shuddering. He's very nervous, but he will peek inside the entrance to see if there's anything waiting for us.
It is much as you remember seeing it before, the lurid red and black natural stone, the rock as you walk in, worn to a smooth finish by countless passing feet, the faint sound of chanting or chiming perhaps in the distance, the stink of foul incense clinging inside your nose. Yes, you have truly found the Temple of Evil Chaos again.
I go back to the party and say, yeah, it's clear. Let's come on. And Grimsby wants to make sure he's not in front when he's in the shrine.
You go up front.
No, Varug, it's clear. You go first.
Ha! Where's my warrior? Send the henchman.
Coward.
Yep. All right. So, what is your marching order as you enter the caves, please?
I'll be behind. Normally, the priest would go in front. So, who's going instead?
You.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
Push.
fair.
I'll be keeping sure that no one sneaks up on us in the rear.
Okay. And Marius and of course Yancey.
Yeah, I'll follow up at the back, I guess, and I'll have Yancey watching behind us as we proceed.
Yeah. She says in a sweet, timid voice as you enter, "I don't like this place."
Yeah, this is the nice area that you're in right now.
Yeah.
It gets uglier as we go deeper.
She's got her arms wrapped around your head, but of course they don't go completely around your head. They're just because she's only a foot tall, you see. As she stands on your shoulder and you walk in. Okay, you have reached, you have gone in the 20-foot wide entrance, about 30 feet. And now you have the gallery running north and south that's 20 feet wide. Which direction will you guys go?
Go
So,
north.
which directions can we go? We can go north.
North
we can
or
go
south?
east or west.
You can go
South is where we came from, right?
you in south, but that's not where you came from.
Yeah. If we've already been that way, then we'll go north.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay. Well,
Slowly.
all right. You go north about 50 feet, and once again, you have a door to the north and a door to the east and a 20-foot wide gallery with a sloping floor that goes to the west.
I'll peek my head around the rest.
All right.
Go up the slope.
Yeah, I'm going to peek my head around that corner.
Okay. All right. As you look around,
Infravision, of course.
Infravision, of course. Okay. You hear, but you do not see something shuffling down the slope towards you. You do not see it, but you do hear it.
I'll take a moment to turn my head to the side and explain to these guys, hey, we've got something going on up here. I'm charging up the slope.
Okie dokie. You're charging up the slope? Hold the phone.
Yeah, why not?
Like capital C charge.
Yeah, that's just my words. I don't know.
Well, I'm just don't go charging blindly forward. You'll run into a pit. I know. I've done that.
Whatever are you talking about, Thane? I'm not familiar with this charging into a pit, but at my age, my memory starts to go. Anyway, so actually, Vrug, do you have your weapon drawn?
Of course. I've got, generally speaking, I will have a sword.
Okay.
And board.
That does spoil your infravision, but it provides enough light that you can see that there are 8 zombies shuffling down towards the party.
We've got undead.
Vaughn, no, dispel magic and anti-magic don't affect familiars. The bond between magic user and familiar is deeply spiritual once a spell is cast. Now, if I determine that it's going to take 21 hours to cast it and some prankster rolls along and casts dispel magic in the middle of it, yes, it's ruined. But not after it's cast. That's like saying anti-magic or dispel magic can cause all previous cure light wounds or whatever spells to disappear from a player's body. And believe it or not, I once saw someone arguing that did in fact happen, and that over the course of a campaign, they kept track of all curative spells ever cast on their players. That, for you folks who at home who are new to first edition AD&D, is what we in this circle call a shitty dungeon master. Just in case you were wondering what subclass they might be, that's what they are. Okay. So yes,
their name level. Is that what you're saying?
Is their name level? That's exactly it. If you look, they gain 6,666 XP, and they become a shitty dungeon master when they do garbage like that. Okay, so you guys will act first. The zombies will always act last because they're slow. They seem unanimous in their thought when they look at you and go, and start shuffling forward. So let's get declarations. Vrugdorn, what are you doing?
Yeah, I've already charged in the zombies, so I'm going to back around the corner and and delay. Basically, I really want to charge into the fray, but I'm not going to do that this time.
I understand. What is Marius doing?
Well, I sleep isn't going to be effective, and I think my darts aren't that helpful. So I'm going to make sure I'm close enough to see the enemies, but far enough to where they can't swing at me directly.
Okay. Thane, what is Sir Standard doing?
Wishing I had burning hands right now, because that'd be awesome.
That's
I'm not going to use my wand of fireball. I genuinely don't think that this is worth it at the point the party's currently at. I will ready my spear and back up enough to basically. I'm going to start kiting them in a attacking retreat.
Okay, and your men at arms are following suit.
Yeah, we have spears. We can outreach them.
All right. With a chilling battle cry of "Not in the face, not in the face," Mark, what does Grimsby do?
Stay in the back and make sure we're not surprised from behind.
Okay. All right. No need to roll initiative. You guys can get assembled, and the zombies shuffle forward until they are right up on you, and they are raising their weapons and will strike last in the new round. Vrug, I'm guessing you're not going to take that standing still, nor Sir Standard your hirelings. So let's begin our attacks. Their dooms, and roll your d20.
Six without magic.
6 is not going to hit.
Right.
It's their standard.
Sure. And couldn't we retreat enough to where they couldn't get us? Like, we could move like 30 feet back and they can only move 20 feet up or something like that?
They're faster than that.
Okay.
They're not going to win any foot races in the world of Greyhawk, but that will miss.
Well, hold up. That's still a third. That's still a 12.
All right.
So that's still like AC 7, AC 9, AC 7, I think.
Let me see.
I'll roll for the men-at-arms while you look.
Please do.
Nope.
All right. So
Let's see here. Third level fighter. 12 total. That's AC 6 actually.
that will hit. That actually will hit.
Okay. So G.
So one of your men-at-arms does land a blow.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah, D8 plus 3, so 9.
A 9 total?
I have a plus 2 spear, plus 1 for my strength. So, yes, 9 total.
All right. Yeah, you destroy one of them. Just slumps back. You sort of drive it in its eye socket, give it a wickle, and it falls to the floor. Counterattacks for them. And let's see. So now there are 7. So that's going to be 1, 2 on Dooms, 3, 4. So yeah, that's 1, 2 on Vrug, 3, 4 on Sir Standard, 5, 6 on one man at arms, and 7 on the other. So we'll start against Vrug, and I really wish I could share this with you guys, but hey, I can't.
I have AC 0 without magic.
That is not going to hit you then. These are on Sir Standard.
AC 0 as well.
Neither one of those is going to hit. You guys have got your men-at-arms gusseted up pretty well, too. They're armor class 2, correct?
One of them is. The other one is not, nor would they be in melee. They would be behind us. Unless
Well,
they can get around us.
You're in a 20-foot wide corridor, and the zombies have kind of moved around, you know?
Yeah, one's AC 2.
Okay. PGI Films. I hate to stop the game in the middle of something. Your post in my comments section, like, wow, I really want to engage with that. Can you drop me an email, please? That was a great comment, and I don't want to just do the auto response. I like this, I heart this great comment thing. So can you drop me an email at the email below so I can give you a response that comment merits? Please do that. All right, so this is against armor class 2. Neither one of those hits, and this is against, what's the other guy, armor class 4?
AC 6.
Oh, okay. So he does take 1 hit, and he takes 6 points of damage.
Okay, he goes down to 0 then.
So he is only unconscious. He is not bleeding out, nor is he comatose.
Yep.
So he will require some healing of some kind to get off the ground. So, in the rounds, Dooms, I'm guessing Vrug is fighting.
Yes.
Sir Standard, you and the man-at-arms that are still up are fighting. Grimsby is still shirking, and Marius is still not becoming a zombie cold cut sandwich, correct?
Yes. I throw fire, but I'll hit my own guys. It's just the way it works.
Yep. And she's the brownie is like sitting on your shoulder and hiding her eyes and say, "I don't like it." Let's see. But she claps her hands together and begins to you can tell she's casting some kind of a spell.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Vrug, go ahead and do your thing.
Right, because they're always last.
Yeah. Zombies always go last, which is y'all's saving grace here.
Nope. No matter what I got.
Okay. Sir Standard and his band of renown, please.
Okie dokie. Well, they're one less now, so I'll start with me. That's a no for me.
Okay.
I'll start with the other men-at-arms. That's a no for him.
Okay. Alrighty. And let's see. All right. So in the next, bless you. Come on.
In the next round, Grimsby's going to try to get up to where he can help that downed men-at-arm to drag him off a little bit.
At the end of the next, or at the end of this round, you will all be under the effect of a protection from evil, which means your foes will be at -2 to hit you. All right, zombies. Come on, where's the thing? Thank you, everyone, for your patience with me tonight. As I said, I am a little bit punchy. I'm gonna
0 without whatever. I think I'm -1.
Yeah. Well, under your let's see, the 19 actually hits you. So that one does connect. So enjoy 1 point of damage.
Oh yeah,
Scratch.
I like
But it's just a scratch. Now you're going to become one. They're going to have to put you
that.
on.
Yeah.
All right. These 2 are on Sir. I'm going to say 3 on Sir Standard, and your armor class 0.
0.
All right. You do take 1, and that is 5.
Okay.
And 2 on your other man-at-arms, who is missed. You're now all under the effect of a protection from evil, and they are at -2. Do monster spell-like abilities have casting times? I treat in this case, I absolutely am treating that. But that's a good question. Sometimes, like if you look up at will abilities, like for demons and demon princes and devils and even solars and planetars and devas, it may specify, it may say, in but a single segment, blah, blah, blah. So, new round. You have reached the man-at-arms who is down. He has been clawed and clubbed by grasping zombie hands. Kind of bad, but he is breathing shallowly, although unconscious and bleeding from cuts and scratches. Grimsby. And as he was not really moved out of the way, you're now looking up at zombies. So what is Grimsby going to be doing in the next round?
Trying to drag this guy out of the way.
Okay. All right. Well, no need for initiative, and I'm guessing everybody's staying the course. Let me see. All right. Let's go ahead and have our attacks. Vrug, go ahead, do your thing.
That would be AC 7.
That will hit, yes.
All right.
Somebody's dog's going nuts.
That would be mine. And I rolled incorrectly, but it was 13 points of damage.
Okay, you destroy another one. Sir Standard.
I'm going. Well, although that would be +3 is 10, which would be, I think, not good enough. But let me see. 10 is AC 8. Wait, but yeah, because Prot E is not going to help.
Yeah,
So,
no.
It's and Men at Arms, no.
Okay, so there are now, I said they started with 8, so there are now 6. So that's going to be 2 on Vrug, 2 on Man at Arms, and 2 on Standard. And Grimsby, you can drag this one back. Let's see. So let me get to their die rolls.
And they have a -2 against us.
That is correct.
Yeah, we're effectively like unhittable, which is nice.
They could still roll 20s.
Even then, can they still hit an AC 0 with that -2?
Yeah, because that makes your AC lower. But there's the repeating 20s on the block.
Oh, yep.
Okay. So that is clear misses. James Seymour says no firebugs in the party. Are oil flasks expensive? I think it's kind of the whole, do not drop within my perimeter kind of standing order from the fire wielders. So Grimsby, you drag the downed man at arms to the back. Let's go ahead and new round. Do your things, gentlefolk. That is going to hit. And you're not treating. Let's see. Good Lord. Yeah. Okay. So there are 5 zombies now. Sir Standard, if you would please. That's a hit.
Finally, I hit. Okay, 2 + 3 is 5.
Okay, yeah, you kind of wiggle your spear around its insides, and it's sort of very loosely hanging together. It's that classic zombie where, like, there's nothing between the lower rib cage and the upper, upper pelvis except the spinal column left.
Man at Arms does nothing.
Okay. Counters Vrug 1 on you. That's a miss. Here's a pair for Sir Standard. Nay.
I don't like those. Take them back.
And nada. Okay. Next round, same. That is correct, PGI. What Vaughn said. Yeah. Now, if you're asking if the carrion crawlers would eat the zombies because they're effectively carrion, I would say no, because in their dim little insectoid brains, carrion crawlers want stuff that's not moving around, and since they can't paralyze zombies, it would just kind of confuse them. Why is my meal not lying still when I wave my tentacles on it? I'm going to let somebody else unpack the Freudian implications of that. Do you guys want to just go ahead and do your attack rolls down the line, please?
Whatever you say, Freud.
No.
Oh, that's a miss.
Yep.
Get that out of the way.
Come on.
Whatever it is, it's contagious. And the man at arms just misses. Okay. 1 on Vrug. That's a miss. Here's a couple on their standard.
Ouch.
Oh, I see a 20. Let's see. So let's see. Your armor class effectively becomes... no, because it would need a... it would need a 20 plus a bonus. It would have to be a zombie wielding a magic item, because we hit on that repeating 20s, which if you folks remember my discussion about what repeating 20s are and why they function the way they function, you'd know what was going on. But if you ever need a rehash of that, just hit me up and I'll point you to the right video. Okay. And the last two on the Man-Tarms. That is a big pair of misses. All right, gentlemen, keep whacking and smacking and hacking. Oh, let me tell you about the man named Zombie Pete. That's a hit.
How many old guys are in the channel right now?
Okay,
That's actually
then.
enough to destroy that one, Drug.
Sweet.
So,
That's +3 to no. Men at Arms. For the love of Christ.
okay, so this is going to be 2 on standard and 2 on Man at Arms. Yeah, I can't hit you, so I just like the sound the dice are making. All right, so that's another pair of misses. Go ahead and do your thing, guys. James, animate dead is done through magic. There are some undead that rise, vampires, wights, I think specters, and shadows. They're effectively undead, and they come back after being attacked and killed. So, yes, there are some.
I hit AC 5 and did 7 points of damage.
That's 3 zombies left. Now, you had actually hit this guy before, TK. Oh, wow. So, both of you guys hit. So,
Alright,
one of
I do 7 to 1. My Man-at-Arms does 1 to another. Or, sorry, I do 8 to 1.
All right, so you have destroyed another one on you, so that's 1 on you and 2 on the Man-at-Arms. Or Fallout 3, Emery, or Fallout 3. That's where I first heard Butcher Pete. All right. Oh, no, you guys go first. Or you guys did go first, but that's still not effective. And this is against... Yeah, no, they're thumping on you guys, not really doing anything effective. That's a hit. A total of 24, and that's not even all of it. That's weird. Your D8 didn't come up with a number on it. I can't tell what that's supposed to be.
Because I accidentally hit a hidden roll, but it was an 8 total.
Okay. I believe you. All right, so there are 2 zombies left. Please do something about them, the rest of the party.
Will do. Well, I probably won't, but we'll see. I got a 2, my Man-at-Arms with a 9, so nope.
We'll just roll both of these, see if either comes up a 20. They don't. Counterattacks, please. Now we're getting 3 on them.
Come on, there we go.
There you go. And there's one zombie left.
Okay. Let's see.
It's a miss.
Damn. Double
And
damn.
that's and before if anyone's curious, no, undead, unthinking, basically living corpse automatons do not get any kind of morale failure option. They will go until they are destroyed. There's a discussion in the chat about telling the brownie to use certain spell abilities. That's definitely not off the table, but she's used everything that is effective that she has against zombies. I guess with the possible exception of mirror image. Mirror image might work, but I mean, in retreat, right? All right. Clunk, clunk. All right, do y'all's thing. That's a miss. Oh, I saw. Almost tipped over to that 17. All right, man at arms, step up. That's a 7. Roll some damage.
Yes.
Max damage. So yeah, he thrusts that spear in, and that zombie goes down. And from the distance, up the hallway, you hear a voice roll out like a tolling bell. Do not weep for your comrade. Soon you will join him in the clutches of the abyss, infidel defilers. Now I will drown you all in lakes of blood. Crash to black. We'll be back next week. So thank you very much in the audience for being in here this fine Tuesday evening. Thank you to all my players. Thank you to Dooms. Thank you very much, sir. It's always lovely to see you here. Dooms saved my sanity with a couple of those wing printings. Thank you. Namaste, brother. That was really great. Kevin, Marius, what can I say? You have a brownie on your shoulder. And he's a wee little thing with kind of a funny Scottish-Irish accent. I will try to do justice.
Perfect. Yeah.
Kane, as always, lovely to have you here. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Mark Grimsby with your famous halfling battle cry of not in the face. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out this evening. Thank you so very, very much, Wenger, for both supers. Those were super. If you haven't already, folks, please click the subscribe button. Click the bell icon for notification. Give it a thumbs up if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it. Leave a comment down below. Thank you, Alan. Let's see. And... oh, yeah. This live stream, of course, brought to you by our friends at Hellabard Games. Hellabard makes the kind of adventures they'd like to play, whether it's for Castles and Crusades, for 5th edition, for the OSR Old School, is in play at the table with Hellabard Games. And if you want to support the show, if you're wondering what all this gobbledygook that's been running across the bottom of the screen is, no, we're not CNBC. This is actually ways you can support the channel. You can support us. You can buy me a coffee. You can support us on Patreon. You can support us on YouTube subscriptions at the $10 level every month. The $10 supporters, whether it's YouTube subs or whether it's Patreon, you get a free 1st edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons adventure. But I'll leave that up to you guys to decide if you want to do. Thank you again, everyone. And if you're going to be out traveling next week, please be careful. Take care of yourselves. It's the holiday season. You guys know how that is. Folks are already thinking of turkey and pumpkin pie and all that jazz and not necessarily watching the road. And we want you all back here alive, well, and loved by your friends and loved ones. So I'm going to dip out of here and go open a bottle of porter and go to sleep. So not in that order. Good night, guys. I will talk to you later. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.